whether it's a small concert or concert with our Parama Guru, you're always there. It's not just you, Narmadaka, both sides, and all your students. We are so lucky to have Ashish here as your one of your students. You have so many talented students, and they are always willing to help any school, small or big concert. And thank you so much for that. Today, Jessie will be coordinating the session. I'll hand over to her. But once again, thank you so much, Ravi, and your gesture is really appreciable.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Radhika. So before we start today, I know you all know Ravi Uncle. He is very well known in Melbourne and for all of us today, but I am going to just give you a very brief and short introduction to him.
1 minute.
Yes, Ravi Uncle.
1 minute only, please.
Yes, 1 minute. He's given me a timing of just 1 minute I'm allowed to talk about him for. So I'll be as quick as I can. So basically, Ravi Uncle has founded the Academy of Indian Music in Australia 35 years ago. He adores his teachers, Professor A.S. Ramanathan and Maestro Karikudi Mani, from whom he has broadened and honed his art. Ravi Uncle was the initiator for a very fruitful collaboration of his guru, Karakudi Mani, and Australian Art Orchestra in a celebratory fusion of Carnatic and Western instrumental music that subsequently blossomed into a worldwide phenomenon of new music. Ravi Uncle and his wife, Narmada Auntie, are the artistic directors of the iconic Melbourne Trinity Festival of Music and Dance over the past 3 decades, and the Nandikeshwara Festival. So that's all from me about Ravi Uncle. I hope that was quick and short for you, Uncle. I know you didn't want me to talk too much about yourself. But what we'd like to do now, if we've got a comprehensive workshop for you guys for the next hour, for which it's sort of a question and answer panel with a bit of live performances in there as well. It's very interactive. So Ravi Uncle has gone through a lot of effort to put this together for us. Please enjoy. Please ask any questions that you might have as we go along as well. And I believe, Uncle, you're happy to answer them as we go along as well.
Yeah, I'd like to just say Happy Saraswati Puja Day to Radhika, her supportive husband Mahadeva, and the growing, very intelligent children, Brundan and Vardhan, all the alumni, current students and parents of Varda Kalanjali School of Dance, and also guests who have taken the time to attend this session. Thank you very much for inviting me to share a few thoughts. I hope this initiative will soon take off in a big way, and Radhika and all your senior students will be announcing what we have planned for in June at Monash University. So it will be a pilot program, and this is an extension of what is yet to come in a bigger way. So this session will be, as Jessica said, interactive, fewer talks perhaps, and more questions, demonstrations, and knowledge sharing. It's a two-way street. Thank you. First question.
So someone wanted to ask the first question, please?
Hi, Uncle. I've got a question, if that's okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I was just wondering, Uncle, like, what are some solos that are quite similar in Mridangam playing and Bharatanatyam?
Yeah. Okay, I've just put some thoughts together about these sorts of questions, preempting these things. As you probably know, Tari Kita, Taka Jenu, Kita Taka, Talangu, Gugu Tari Kita, and that sort of phrases, and then Tadinta, and then you get a compounding chorus like Taka Tajum Terita. You might say something like Tam, Titaka Dina Tam. Those sorts of phrases are commonly used. And then you also have Rudangam Cholukatus like Ta, Ti, Dom, Nam. It's reflected in much the same way in Bharatanatyam also, although sometimes the Ta doesn't necessarily mean it's on the left-hand side of a Mridangam always. It might start on the right-hand side too. So I've just got some of those things put down so that you can take away and look at them. These other things that you may or may not be familiar with are taka jenu, and then jonu taka, tadimi, nam nam ti, we sometimes play them as. Tadimi is, and the mridangam we call it nam nam ti. Ta kita, ti kita, dom kita, nam kita. But in the Bharatanatyam context, you might say slightly differently, tak kita, ti kita, dom kita, nam kita kind of thing. And the drukutaka is commonly used as an adavu, and then tatimatu in Panjanadai, the 5 different nadais. So the 5 different nadais could be very common. Those who are very familiar with this would be the fourth taka takadimi taka takita, then takadimi takita, takadimi taka takita, that those sorts of things, and then multiple of 4, which is takadimi takadina. And then some common arudis, short half cycle ones. I've written that so that you can look at them with one comma is equal to 1 pulse. So ta jom ta jom ta jom. So ta jom ta jom ta jom is the one that I've written on the right hand side of the page. Then the other one is very common one. It will be taka jenu dom, taka jenu dom, taka jenu dom. The 2 slashes show that it's the end of that tirmanam. And then some common endings in a korve or a jadi structure. Tadinkinadom, tadinkinadom, 6. Ta'adinkinadom, 7. Tadinkinadom, 8. And tadinkinadom, 9. So I've accounted for the gaps with a comma. That's usually the style in which I have been trained in Mridangam. So by all means, if I'm going too fast, stop me there and ask a question. So in short, that is all the sorts of things I wanted to tell you. Although I must say, Gugu Tarikida is only practiced in certain parts of India for Mridangam coaching. In Chennai, I find that they don't use the Gugu Tarikida. But in southern tip of India is quite commonly used. So I stopped there with that sort of thing.
Thank you, Uncle.
Ravi Uncle, I have another question.
Yeah.
Can you please teach us a short tirmanam?
Yeah, so the short tirmanams, I think I have touched on it, like taka jenu dom is a very simple one. I might actually start looking at something like the one, example 1, tadom ta, tadom ta, dom tadom ta, dom tadom ta, dom. So, so if you look at it, tadom ta, dom tadom ta, dom tadom ta, dom. It's really nice if you can incorporate that in Bharatanatyam. And I feel that if you are already using it, fantastic. But if you are not using it, consider it. So where would you start it? Takadimi, takadina, takadimi. Tadom ta, dom, tadom ta, dom, tadom ta, dom. Very crisp and nice. And you can actually give that punch with the footwork. Tadom ta, dom, tadom ta, dom, tadom ta, dom. And then I'm going to ask you guys, not now, consider that being 3 rounds. Tadom ta dom tadom ta dom tadom ta tadom ta dom tadom ta dom tadom ta tadom ta dom tadom ta dom tadom ta dom. If you were to do it 3 rounds, my question to some of the senior dancers or anyone capable, I've never used the word senior, beg your pardon. I should say any capable dancer should be able to interpret that in a way. You could do the 3 rounds, started from samam, adi thalam, and finish on samam. So tadom ta dom tadom ta dom tadom ta tadom ta dom tadom ta dom ta tadom ta dom tadom ta dom tadom ta dom, something like that. But I'm not going to say it. But if you wanted to try it out, you could do that. Tadom ta dom tadom ta dom tadom ta tadom ta dom. So something very similar. You could come up with similar core ways at your own leisure. And you're most welcome to come back to me and say, this is what you meant. And I'm very happy to tell you. Now, the other one that I've got here, examples of compounded phrases. Tham, titaka jenu dom, tham, titaka jenu dom, tham, titaka jenu dom. So if you look at the first, on the right-hand side, tham, titaka jenu dom, tham, titaka jenu dom, tham, titaka jenu dom. But the second and the third one, if you look at it, it is the same, but in a slightly different way it's expressed. So tham, titaka jenu dom, nam, titaka jenu dom, nam, dimi, titaka jenu dom. Do you all follow that? If you all follow it, please raise your hands and say, yes, I do. That's great. I'll repeat it slowly. Tham, titaka jenu dom, nam, titaka jenu dom, nam, dimi, titaka jenu dom. So each comma means one pause. Dom, So if you see where the 3 commas are, you'll have the pauses accordingly. So ta, so ta, is the gap. Titaka jenu dom. That's equal to 12 pulses overall. Ta, titaka jenu dom, 12. The same second line is do nam ti tak je du dom. Then nam din mi din tak je du dom. So they are all 12s, but expressed in a totally different way. And if you can imagine that you're doing a cool walk for that phrase, ta ti tak je du dom, do nam ti tak je du dom, nam din mi din tak je du dom. So you can do that, the Dola walk or whatever that you wanted to do, incorporate it that. And then the second phrase goes with a reduction of the car race in the end. So dom becomes dom. So ta ti tak jen dom nam ti tak jen dom nam din mi tin tak jen dom. So the systematic way of reducing it. So can someone say the third structure? Have a go at it. How would you say the third structure? Ashrita. You could try that.
Sure.
Then, yeah,
Okay. Tam titaka janu tum tonam titaka janu tum namdin So let me try that again. Titaka janu tum tonam titaka janu tum namdin mitin taka janu tum.
Yeah. So the third phrase, third segment, ta titaka janu do nam titaka janu nam din mi tin taka janu. So dom is eliminated totally. So that's 8, 8, 8. And then to round it off, we normally have a tadingina dom, right? So it's done in the with the hand gesture. So adavus, that's the choice you would normally make. Tadingina dom tang naka tadingina dom tang taka naka tadingina dom tang. So that's the thing that I've come up with. The grand total comes to 120 pulses. Yes. So the way I'm saying is nakata ding kinato. The dance gurus, Radhika and T and everyone else may not be using the word naka. So they could be using takata ding kinato. So if I may ask Radhika, how would you say ta ding kinato tang? And the second line in your own language, in your own vocabulary.
Okay, I'll leave it to Lakshanya. Do you want to answer that question, Lakshanya or Ashish?
How would you say it? Tading tang. Instead of naka, what would you normally say?
Would probably say taka.
Good.
Right?
Naka tading tang. And then taka naka would be?
Taka tiku.
Correct. So that Isn't that right, Bashish? Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'll just give you a spin. Ta ding, gina tum tang. Kata ding, gina tum tang. Kata ding, gina tum tang. So there are extensions on there. So the same time frame, we are doubling up and then make it more interesting. So if somebody is doing it 3 times, 3 rounds, kata ding, gina tum tang. Kata ding, gina tum tang. And then we do that santam, we call it, that the artificial effect on the ding. So we might say in a nicer way that instead of being so bland, monotone, we make it more interesting and say it's up to the individual how they wanted to express it. But the point is that when you work with the dancer and express that, the mridangam is such a beautiful experience. The least I could say is ding, you could actually try this, the rishibam on the mridangam. Depends on how well the mridangam is tuned. You would say ta ding, so you touch the re on the mridangam. Or antarakantaram. Depends how well the kapi muttu is tuned. It'll give such a tonic effect. You wouldn't believe. I would be the first one to be elated if I sit there and watch someone playing that. Somehow I get so much of thrill watching the whole total picture, how the dancer and the mridang is playing together. So here we are. That's enough. Now the question is, which thalam will this fit into? 120 pulses. So without further ado, let's look at the dance aspects of it. I've given 2 dancers a bit of a challenge, Madhumita and also Nandini, to compose without consulting with each other, something that they can come up with and present. And guess who is playing the mridangam? Can somebody make a guess? Isha, Deepti, who do you think would be playing mridangam for this? Pranavi?
You?
Yeah, anyone, any other guesses? Vaishnavi? You love supporting youngsters, don't you? Come on. Other
Brendan.
than myself, who would you think?
Brendan.
Pardon?
Brendan.
What did you say?
Brendan.
Brendan, there you are. So you hit it on the nail. We'll see if he's the right man or is he sort of put on a different costume and coming. Let's see.
So, Brendan, do you want
Brendan
to
in disguise.
I thought it's recorded, right?
Yes. Sonali?
I made sure it's recorded because I only gave them less than 1 day notice for Brendan and Baradan to come up with this. So credit goes to the 2 boys. And of course, the dancers as well.
Who wants to show first?
Madhumita, I think, would be best.
Madhumita, you want to go first? Madhumita is going to do a live performance.
Yes.
And Nandini's got a recorded version ready to go.
We also have a recorded version, but I can do it live if you want.
It's up to you.
Okay, I'll dance now. Is the video okay?
Yes, the video is good.
Good? Okay. Ready? Yeah. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. You have to turn the sound off. Sorry. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, pre-recorded versions are always good because there could be some time lags. If you have a pre-recorded version, can you play that in the interest of time?
Jesse, you have the recorded one?
Yes.
Yeah, play that one because I think the internets can play up. Well done, Matimita. We just had a preview. That's excellent. You interpreted it nicely.
I'm just going to get the... Are you able to share it, Renu? From your end, it'll make it easier.
Oh, sharing in here.
Yes.
Actually, that's not in the laptop. It's on my phone, though.
I think we will. I will come back to you.
That's okay. I've got it here. We can.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. I'm just going to share the screen now, everyone.
Right. Okay.
One, go.
Very good. The carways are perfect, and really that's very well handled. And you understood the carways, each one of them, and the reductions are very, very well executed. So kudos to you.
Well done, Madhumita. She did it within a half a day or something, yeah?
Yeah,
With,
under pressure. That's always wonderful.
Well done, Madhumita.
Yeah, and that's all her choreography, everyone, by the way. That was purely just only Madhumita's choreography, all by herself. So
yeah,
if you want to take yourself off mute and just give her a bit of a round of applause, I think
yes, we have.
well deserved.
Yay, well done. Well done.
And
Okay, now we're going to watch Nandini.
Nandini. So Nandini's got a pre-recorded version, which
Yes, please play the pre-recorded version. Only in the interest of time, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a hard act to follow, Mita. But, can you see this?
Yes. Yes.
Can you
Yes.
see the actual video?
No.
Not yet, not yet. You need to press it, right?
Yeah, I did, but it's not.
Okay.
You want to send it to Deepthi, Nandini?
Oh, I can share it as well. Did you want me to share it, Nandini?
Yeah, share it.
Yeah. Okay. Just give me 1 second.
Even Nandini was so busy the whole week doing night duties and stuff, but yeah.
Everyone's busy. But I just I tried to do like a Saraswati related jati because of Saraswati Puja, but it might just not work. But anyway.
Yeah, sky is the limit, Nandini, when you come to interpreted dance. Yeah. And Brundan and Baradan, I did it over the phone within 10 minutes. That's good. Okay.
Okay. Oh, it's still downloading, Nandini. Do you have it?
Okay.
Or
Perhaps we could move on and then come back.
come back to it.
I
Yeah.
just don't know how to actually share that correct screen. Can you see if I double click this, is it coming up? No.
No.
I think you need to make sure you share so open it up first and then share that screen, I think.
Let's try now. Oh my God, this is share. Oh, yeah, got it. Okay, here we go. Can you see this?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay. Wait.
Well done, Lakshmi.
Thalam, kudaka di kudaka tadingin natum.
Excellent. Very good, Nandini. And I admire the third one when you did takita. You compounded, divided into multiples of 3, and then tadi tatrudam tan, tadi tatrudam tan. That when I see somebody doing that, I would be playing like that. Although Brindan and Baradan didn't have the benefit of you doing that footwork, so it's almost like cart before the horse. He had to actually provide the texture for you. But next time when you play Brindan and Baradan, you have to look at the foot movements and then modify the last round according to your vision. You know, so that's how Mridangis would be played. So thank you so much. And the Saraswati poses are fantastic, and it's a very good tribute to Goddess Saraswati on this day.
Yeah. So well done to Nandini. Can we just get ourselves off mute, please, and give her a round of applause? Again, keep in mind she did this in less than half a day. So very good effort.
Excellent. Yes.
Thanks, Uncle. That was good. That was a good challenge and good fun. And thanks to Brindan and Baradan too. That's the first time I think Mita and I are dancing to their mridangam.
Yeah. I know you are more than capable of doing this, more than capable of performing, these sorts of jalis, but we have to pitch it at a level where everyone can appreciate it. So next time, it'll be more challenges. Thank you. Let's move on to the second or third question.
I've got a question. Namaskaram, Uncle.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, have you experienced any unplanned interactions between dancer and mridangis during a performance, like a korapu? like we see in Kathak between the performer and tabla player? Have you experienced that on the spot?
Yeah, I think the short answer is the tabla, use of tabla and mridangam I use for multitudes of effects. And then I also use the left hand bass, what I call gumuki, the gliding of topi sound to suit changing emotions. And the third point I like to say is aesthetically producing a combination of strokes blending with the swarasthanam. I really mean the swarasthanam, because you sometimes glide your fingers in a manner that you produce a certain overtones. And then double strokes in the mridangam, double strokes in the tabla. All of these things are done impromptu. So you answer the question, I don't necessarily play the same way the second time. So even if the music, the dance might have been set, pretty much set with the Natyam, the way my approach to mridangam has been very, very different in a way that I don't follow a strict format. The framework is fixed, but the application of the strokes and the mridangam and the tabla, and the last dot point being the full chapu and the sliced chapu, which produces a sound octave higher. All these things in a melting pot, we throw it in and then look at the dancers, facial expressions, the footwork, and what the Natyam is trying to project in that particular piece. They are my focal points when I play. So to answer your question, I think it's probably worthwhile looking at a video clip and see what I have done in there. So I'll give you a video clip of recently what I uploaded, Unnayalal Veregadi, and I think we're going to start at a particular point, aren't we,
Yes.
Jessie?
Yes, we are.
So I'll let you Viber watch that and then see if that I've answered that question adequately.
Is it this one or the other one, Uncle? The
other one, sorry.
The other one, yes.
Yes.
The other one.
No, sorry.
Is it this one?
No, this is a particular one I said, didn't I, in the notes?
Yes, this
Yes.
is the
Yeah, this is the one that I'd like to see.
This is the one.
Here I played tabla and mridangam.
Okay.
Yeah. Is the music on?
I think we need to
Up the volume, please.
That's the loudest it'll go, sorry.
Yeah. So you hear the double strokes there.
I think there's some issues with the sound.
Mm-hmm. But on the YouTube, it's fully you could actually watch it later. I think I might suggest that we stop it there, because this is already on my Facebook. You can always watch it. But the Viber's question is that if I were to play this another time, all the strokes would be completely different, because I have not prepared this. Even in the rehearsal, we have not set the music. That's the thing I want to tell you. So I'm Kathak dances. I've seen Kathak performances where the tabla player and the Kathak have got terrific understanding, and they will actually land on time. And that is the kind of thing mridangist will have to have. So only through experience, you would know when they're going to so kick the ball or do the tattu and all those things, pandatam steps. So the basic beat is takita, takita. Takita is the only framework we've got, within which you got to do so many wondrous stuff in the program. So this is where the challenge is. And sky is the limit. The repertoire is indefinite, and it's the skill of the mridangist that projects the music. So I was very happy that this particular performance came out well. But if you have the time, you can listen to it on YouTube. Why I'm saying it is that out of 100 performances, maybe 1 or 2 will come in a balanced way. It was a live performance. So this was recorded by Charles Walker. And I was very happy with the tabla sound, mridangam sound, topi sound, everything came together. That's why I picked this one. So this is a challenge for any mridangist playing for padam, javali, right? Particularly because the music is not fixed. And if you said particularly a good dancer, I will never call a senior dancer. You would the capable dancer can actually do these things on stage. Then it's the job of the mridangist to enhance it. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, that was incredible to watch that synchronization. That was just that was really nice. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
Navmada, I believe you have a question.
Yes, namaskaram, Uncle. I just had a question. In terms of playing Miradangam for dance, I just want to know, how do you bring out the emotions that the dance is trying to portray, such as longing for the lover or a war scene, or even, cheeky Krishna? How do you do that?
Yeah, there's no fixed training for playing for the cheeky Krishna or a warrior. But some things I can talk about in this forum. If it's a fighting scene, or a kind of an abrupt motion on stage where you wanted to actually replicate that on the mridangam, you will actually play open sounds on the mridangam, combined with certain nadais like takadimi takita or takadimi takatakita, open sounds, or takatakita, or a rolling beat, something very powerful, and you can play that in a projected manner, or a series of takadimi takita, takadimi takita. But the challenge is, when you use those words, it's got to fit into the thalam, right? The thalam could be going in chadusranadi, takadimi, takadimi, takadimi. So in that space, we have to play takadimi, takita, takadimi, takita, takadimi, takita, takadimi, takita, just to set that mood of Bella or something like that. On the flip side, if you wanted to show that a sad movement, or somebody's crying or something like that, then that's where mridangist would be using, like I normally use the use of gumiki to the fullest extent, right? So the ballinam and the mellinam. So the mridangam has to be tuned, hakkat tuned. That particularly topi side has to be so good that you can play the gumiki effectively, right? So I spend hell of a lot of time before any concert at home, pick the right mridangam. If I have 5 mridangams, at least maybe 10 mridangams, only 1 will actually work on the day. You actually treat the left-hand side in a manner that it will listen to you, right? and you need to preempt what would be the temperature and all that. So the preparation is one thing. On stage, you need to actually play in a manner that will be soothing to the ear and bring that emotion with the soft strokes and gliding strokes on the topi, right? At the same time, you wanted to give that contrast, Ballina Mellinum also in that. So you will find there's another short video clip I have asked Jessie to play. Can we play that one?
Sure.
This is where, let's play that and we'll see. So, I'm playing Sankirna Nada in that. Okay. Unobtrusively playing that. Softly, but getting ready for the fighting scene. Meenakshi is turning into a warrior. Short Tirmanam there. We're going to Mount Kailash and facing Nandi. So Nandi is going to call Lord Shiva. Now, so finally, Meenakshi is feeling very shy when she saw Lord Shiva. Right? So that's the part. Okay, that's fine. So those who have, did you follow the trends there, the application of the swaras? So in this piece, what we've done is exhibited how a kacheri could be converted into a dance format. So in this piece, there was a raga element, niraval element. What you saw was the swara element, swara, where the whole of the warrior scene was captured with swarasthanas or kalpana swarams. And the crescendo was three times you have done it. So there you would have heard that particular pattern played by the top guy, Mandolin Srinivas, many years ago. And people like us, maybe not so popular, but we brought that sort of idea into the Bharatanatyam aspect of it. So music for dance and dance for music, it's all integrated into this particular sort of aspect of it. So the use of particular phrases like takatipitak, tat tinang dum, 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 tat tinang dum. They are implicit Sankirtanade portion. Dum ta din na ang is 9. So the moment some of you have learned Mridangam, so you'll be able to follow it. But I'm just saying possibilities are there for you to incorporate this into the dance unobtrusively, because you don't want to disturb the dancer or the Natyavana. You need to carefully manage that. But the third person listening to it in the audience, people who have got a level of knowledge, will appreciate it more, won't they? So I stop it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. Purni, I think you have a question coming up.
Jessie, sorry, could I ask Uncle a question?
Sure,
about
of course.
the piece?
Yes, Pravina.
Okay, Uncle, I didn't see any paper or any notes in front of you. And I'm just curious to know how many rehearsals did you do before this?
This particular performance?
Yes.
Okay. So normally any dance guru will be having about 5 rehearsals, right? My way of playing, Radhika knows, whenever I performed for her school concert, the Natyavana and the Mridangis will have to work together well before any final rehearsals. The reason is that there's got to be a strong understanding between the Natyavana and the Mridangis to sort out all of these jadis and understandings. You don't want to waste time on the final 4 days of rehearsals. But in this particular performance, because we have been concert artists, we know the pattern so well, right? I just probably did it, all of that on the final day of the rehearsal. Final day means final 3 to 4 days of rehearsals. So that's all I did. But I'm just saying you all have that competitive advantage. If you have been a Mridangist playing for kacheris as well as dance concerts, you've got that edge.
Brilliant, Uncle. Thank you.
Purni, do you want to ask your question now?
Namaskaram, Uncle. I was just wondering, would you be able to tell us what the differences are in playing Mridangam for dance versus music or vocals or other forms of music?
Yes. Okay, I'll be very quick on this. It's expansive, lot of differences. But starting with dance music, can we have the notes up on the screen so they'll be easy for people to make a note of it? So I've put some dot points. They are so pertinent that if a Mridangist is not following any one of them, he'll be in trouble. The simple as that. So follow the footwork. I'm just saying follow. But Attami, eye and neck movements. You need to be spot on with the eye and neck movement. You can't make a second guess. It look ugly. Okay. And emotions expressed in the lyrics. Try and do them as best you can. The nuances in music. You can't just play just for the footwork, ear, eye and neck movements. If you can't follow the nuances at the same time you're playing, you're not a complete Mridangist. That's my feeling. I would not play anything like that. I'll try my best to follow the nuances also at the same time. And the Sanjari Bhavas. You can't play type of Urutisolu when there is a soft emotion being expressed. Follow the dancer's actions. You got to have eyes and ears fully open. Got to listen to the Natyavana, the vocalist, violinist, flutist, everyone. So, and then the other one is accentuate. The emphasis is so important to bring the best out of a production. The Rasanubhava, adapt to the changing moods spontaneously, or have the ability to do it. Then the slokas, play for the sloka. These things are not in the kacheri format. In slokas and vrittams, Mridangis have a role to play. Okay. In Padavarnam, the main piece of the dance repertoire, some dancers prefer not to play Mridangam for the first round of the Sahitya lines of the Chittaswarams. Okay, it's personal preference. There's no Natya Shastra that says don't play, but we need to follow the preference of the Nattavanar or the teacher. For instance, put in Sakye Varnam, there's a particular line there. Some people, they don't play for the first line of it. Ningadira vil tunga kuyil aluka, that particular line, they just freeze. And the second and the third line we play. And the short are these commonly for various parts of the lines progressively, which is something that you don't do in a concert. Short tirmanams are not required. And play for 5 to 9 chords in the main piece. I'm talking about a Padavarnam. Mayada was differently from chords. Mridangis still have to play in a different way for the Mayada was different from a chord. And the syncopated beats found in the Drugutaka Adabu, like takadim, ondutali, mundutali kind of things. And they embellished the chorus and sarvalagu portions. Plenty. The gaps in jadis. Nowadays, people who have gone to see in India particularly, you'll find that when there is a gap, the Mridangis can come up with a very creative experience and they will skillfully play patterns within that gap. And it will be so nice, aesthetically pleasing. Various tempos. I try and do as best as I can in concerts here in Melbourne. Various tempos carefully introduced in Sanjari Bhavas. That's what I said. In Sanjari Bhavas, you can softly play Iswaranadayo, Kaddadadai, and all those things. And I quite often look at Tyagarajan and Ramani, so when he plays the flute, we have that eye contact, and it's probably only the two of us will understand what we are doing there, unobtrusively playing that. And some of the things, I want the dancers to feel that you guys, oh, is this what he's playing kind of thing. Not on stage, but later on when you review your own performance. Playing with team spirit, here we are. Conduct the Nattavanar or the Konnakolo artist as required. They would not be the guru or the teacher of the professional dancer on stage, you know. So he could be an exponent in Nattavangam, but outsourced person. I use the words outsourced, right? In that sense, like any other member of the orchestra, like I am, I'm not attached to a particular school, and constantly embellish and support the dancer. Impromptu playing, you've heard that before. Padams and Javalis, like the one that you saw, the one I played with tabla and mridangam combined. And the use of Valinam, Melinam. Valinam is strong, Melinam is soft. The use of compatible high-pitch mridangam, anjikattai, mridangam for tirmanams or jari sections when playing for a male vocalist. I use that because that's why you find that I have a second mridangam kept upright. Just to give that projection of the jadis. And then playing ardis and tirmanams in such a manner that the pattern will match the song line. This is an aspect that we've heard when Lalgudi Krishnan and Lalgudi Vijayalakshmi, some of them would have gone to their workshops in Melbourne. They call it the Puruttam, right? GNB sir started it, and then Lalgudi Jayaraman took it to the next level. That's quite often done, and we try as Mridangis and do that Puruttam into the playing of Mridangam for dance music. And I just put a note there. The cryptic translation of Puruttam would be a Kalyana Puruttam, right? Compatibility. So I'm just saying these Puruttams are also taken in very nicely in Bharatanatyam repertoire by Mridangis, and also the people who've got that knowledge. Last but not least, maintaining the speed or the kala pramana. Now, if I ask you guys, the first grade or second grade or third grade students, they got to maintain the kala pramana when they jump from first speed to the second speed and second speed to the third speed. And I'm not going to ask you now, this is not the time for it, but please be aware the importance of it. We don't want to see any performance accelerating in Thalam speed. By the time you do the Charanam in Padavarnam, you find the Thalam speed has gone up probably twofold. That restraint has to be applied. That is the role of the Mridangist and the Natuvana. So like a Saradi, you just have to control it, pull back. And it's a total awareness by all the participants on stage. They maintain that kala pramana. In music, Patakai versus Padakai. How many of you understand that, the distinction? Fingers work for the song rather than they're merely playing to fill the space, right? Just because you know something, you don't plonk it. And the freedom for playing for concert Nirabal is totally different from Nirabal Sang for Sanjari Dao. And I'll wrap up quickly.
Yeah.
High level of skill is required for Mridangam solo, Laya Vinyas, and Kureppu, whereas you don't have to have that skill for someone playing for Bharatanatyam, unless you do a Kureppu in Bharatanatyam, of course. And last but not least, the ability to play for various types of instruments. Playing for Veena, playing for violin, playing for a vocal concert, and to suit the taste of the co-artist. They all vary from one concert to the other. So that's the big difference for people playing for music.
Thank you, Uncle. I'm just a bit wary of the time. But can I just, for the final, just a wrap up, everyone is keen to find out what Thalam, Nandini and Madhumita dance to. So if we could finish off on that, that would be great.
Great.
So if you're able to just let us know, or maybe you want us to figure it out ourselves, and then.
Has anyone thought about the Thalam, Nandini? Which Thalam would this fit into?
Me?
Or Madhumita?
Yes, Nandini or Madhumita, would you mind letting us know what Thalam?
Did you consider what Thalam? 120 pulses, just to recap. So quickly, you could say what Thalam it will fit into.
Well, Mita, did you want to say, or?
Is it Rupaka?
Yep, Rupagam is 1, 2, 3. So Takadibi, 12 pulses in one cycle. So it takes 10 avartanams, 10 cycles to hit the 120 mark. So that's one answer. So that way you can find out what other thalams you could do.
That might
Nandini?
be our homework, Uncle.
No, Nandini is thinking.
No, I was going to say there's a total of 120. You could really do any thalam that's divisible by 120. So it could be Adi or Khanda Chapu as well.
Yeah, Adi Thalam, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 times 32. It's not 32 won't go into 120 exactly, samam to samam. So Khanda Chapu is 10. So that's easily divisible. So you can do it in Khanda Chapu. Now the other thing is Adi Thalam Khanda Nada you could do, because 8 times 5, 40, and then you could do it. So this is a test here. I conclude with that. So taka takita, taka takita, taka takita, taka takita, and you practice that. Practice this particular jari into the Khanda Nada, and that will be really good. A good homework and challenge for you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much. Sorry to cut you short. We did have a little bit more, but thank you so much for everything. Really appreciate it. And if everyone wants to take yourself off mute, and please thank Uncle for his time today and all his knowledge.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Nice play. Thanks, good.
Ravi, Uncle.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the opportunity, Radhika. Is she there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think you are
mute.
I'm sorry, Ravi. If a boy, kids, if they have any questions, they can contact you directly, right?
No. They have to always come through Radhika or Jessie. As a principal, I wouldn't like, so I leave it at that.
But I'll give you his number, boys and girls. You can.
No, I think it's
Thank
only
you so
fair.
much, Ravi. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks a
great
lot.
pleasure.
Very much.
Happy day.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Uncle.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.